What is happening, Honey Badger Nation, man? Good to be back with you fellas. And we are definitely excited to jump into today's conversation. We've got a special guest in the house as we're going to be getting into things to make agents' lives much easier when it comes to agent attraction into production. So what's up, fellas? How you guys doing?
Man, I'm good, man. I've had a really a great last couple weeks of travel, being in masterminds, meeting great quality people, learning new things, and super excited to be here for sure.
Love it. Cuz, you want to kick us off, introduce our guest today?
Absolutely. And so, one of the things, it seems like every day, I know you guys probably, see something every day as well, about AI or well, certainly about crypto these days. But, I think there's a lot of challenges that agents have in terms of how to use AI and the easiest way to use AI. And so I'm always looking, to always keep an open mind for anybody that has some way that we can leverage, the 20 plus years, almost 30 years now of knowledge that we've acquired and how to sell more real estate and how to do agent attraction the right way. And, if you've ever tried to find a video or find some information about, hey, what would you do in this situation? Or what would you do in that situation? Or if you just want to know what kind of posts should you make as it relates to something for agent attraction, or just making things easier for you to do things. I think a lot of agents struggle with obviously knowing exactly what to do. If they knew what to do, they would do it. And so actually, Braden lives with one of the gentlemen in this company that shared this with us. It's probably been a month and a half ago, and it's one of those jaw-dropping experiences where you're like, man, this solves a lot of problems. This makes things a lot easier. And so I wanted to just share it today, and Adrian's on here today to kind of a little precursor to what we have that we're going to be launching tomorrow. There should be a link in the comments, depending on where you're watching this. If not, it's going to be on Facebook tomorrow. So definitely be on the lookout for that, but definitely get registered. If you like what you hear, I think you're going to like what you see here as we kind of tease this for tomorrow.
So awesome. Great to be with you guys. I'm thrilled to get to be helping bring Honey Badger AI to life. Jay is, you just are a super inspirational guy, and it's been fun getting to know you, and especially getting to know the AI version of you as we have been working with all the amazing stuff that you've been doing. So I'm Adrian Chenault. I am one of the top leaders at NowSite. And we have put something together that we're going to be launching tomorrow. And as Jay said, it's all about helping your team to just get way stronger on social media, to be able to attract more agents, and to be able to get answers to all of your questions that you might need to, reach out to somebody in your team to help you with, to be able to get instant answers to that 24 hours a day. So it's really cool. I'm super excited to be here.
Absolutely. So why don't you start with what was the vision you guys had? There's all these AI tools, and I think people kind of struggle with which ones to use and how. What was the original vision and the original customer base that you guys started serving, and how did you kind of get to this point?
Yeah, but love that question, and you're totally right. Like you can't throw a rock without hitting some kind of AI something or another out there these days. And so there's a lot out there, but what we realized as we have been building this, and we've been at this for 7 years, right? We were into AI before AI was cool. And so we've had a lot, we had a big head start on creating this. And then you watched as ChatGPT and some of these other tools came along, that just, created an explosion of what is possible. And we've been able to leverage the best of all of those things. But here's the key thing, right? AI is an amazing tool, but just like any tool, it's only as good as your ability to use it. And it's only as good as you choosing the right tool for the right job. And so what we have really specialized in is creating something that is exactly built for what an agent needs, exactly built for what an entrepreneur needs, which is different from, if you just go to ChatGPT, it's a general, it's like connecting it's like you walk over to a nuclear reactor, right? That is like this huge power plant, and you try to plug a lamp in, right? That's not what that thing is for, right? So what we have done is we have created a tool that meets two of the most critical needs to help you grow. One, you got to have a personal brand, right? You got to be visible on social media. You got to be visible in the world in a way that when people see you, they are curious about what you're up to. They want to be a part of it, and you have that consistency. We solve that problem. And then secondly, you're just going to, the entrepreneurial journey, there's rarely a guidebook, right? Stuff is coming at you all the time, and you're like, I've got questions and I need answers, but I don't necessarily know where to go. And so providing that expertise where we partner with the top people who are able to, they say, hey, I've got all this stuff, but it might be hard to find the answer in this mountain of content. Instead, what if I could just ask my exact question and I get my exact answer tailored to me right when I need it? And so those two things, we see a huge shift in the results that our people are creating as a result of having access to it.
Yeah, I love that. Certainly. So what can we show today to give a little teaser for tomorrow?
I'm super excited. Okay, so I'm not going to show the whole thing because you got to come tomorrow. The demo you're going to see tomorrow is going to absolutely blow you away, but we'll give a little sneak peek. Does that sound all right?
Love it. Let's go.
Cool. All right. So I'm going to get my screen up here. Give me 1 second. I just got to make sure I got it set up the way I need to. Boom. All right. Awesome. So still figuring out this StreamYard thing sometimes. There we go. I got it. So when you get access to HoneyBadgerNation.ai, what's going to happen is you are going to get plugged into this amazing resource, right? And so right here on the front page, right, the first thing you see, you're going to get access to HoneyBadger.ai, which is the AI version of Jay. Super amazing. Again, I'm going to hold a little bit back. So you're going to get to see the live demo of Jay tomorrow, but you're going to have access to this amazing tool and resource for you. So that's really cool. But what I also want to show you is a little bit of how this thing gets to know you, because the power of this thing is that not only does it know everything there is to know about Honey Badger Nation, about eXp Realty, about the resources for agent attraction, but it also gets to know you so that everything that it does is customized and fine-tuned to you. So when you first sign up, the very first thing that happens is your AI learns about you. And I'm going to show you a little bit of what that looks like. So this is the AI version of Adrian. I set this demo account up to show it to you, right? So, I'm an agent with Honey Badger Nation, a team at eXp Realty. Why do I love that? Is because of being an entrepreneur, being able to help other agents as well. I can share about my family. I can share about my background. Anything that I want my AI to know about me, it learns as I go along, right? It asks me about things like my hobbies, right? So I love playing golf and pickleball. I'm into pro football. So it learns these things about me as I go along, right? It learns, what are some of the popular figures who I'm interested in that I learn about along the way. It learns about some of the books that I like and those authors that I might want to write quotes from, for example. And then it also is able to write like me, right? So I'm able to say, hey, like I like a lot of humor in my posts. I use a little bit of emojis, not too much, right? So it learns some of those fine tuning, but it also, let's say Brian Tracy is a guy who really inspires me, right? I can say I want to sound like Brian Tracy. I want to sound like Brian Carruthers. I want to, whoever it is that inspires you, or I just want to sound, like a super confident, real estate leader. And it will turn that into a set of descriptions to sound like me. So it's a super powerful resource and tool to help you to do that. And so then, now that I have that, I am able to do all kinds of powerful stuff. So one of the things that I'm able to do is I can have my AI create posts for me. So one of the things that often happens, the most popular button in our entire app is this surprise me button, right? Surprise me is for those times when I know I should be posting consistently, but I don't know what to post. And so it's going to write me a powerful post that is designed just for me, right? One valuable lesson I've learned in my journey as an entrepreneur is that teamwork truly makes the dream work. Building a team's like playing a great team of golf or game of golf. Every shot counts. what's one essential lesson your work has taught you, right? So I get this amazing post that takes the things about me and helps me to do that in a powerful way, right? And not only can I do it for Facebook, but I can get a separate version for Instagram that's maybe a little bit more sensational, right? I can get a more professional version that I might post on LinkedIn. And then maybe I say, you know what, that's pretty cool, but hey, what if I did that thing? I want to make it funny. So I'm going to go over here, and I'm going to change it to make it a little bit more funny. And hey, how about we do that in Spanish, right? So I can literally fine tune this thing for anything that I want, right? Maybe I'm building a team and some of my team speak Spanish, some of them speak English. I can actually create content in both of those, and I can do it super quickly and easily, right? Not only can I do that, but my AI actually can take content from a photo, and it will allow me to be able to take the content of that picture and put that into right into a post where it understands the content of that post. So give me 1 second. I'm actually going to airdrop a photo over here just to give you an example, right? So here we go. I'm going to put this over here. Sorry, I should have done this before we got on. But this is what it allows you to do, is to create content from your pictures, from anything that you're doing in a powerful way. Not only does it do that, but it allows me to comment on other people's posts. And honestly, this is, I would say, the most slept on feature of social media that most agents are not doing nearly enough of. Yeah, it's great to post, but if you are not actively commenting on other people's content, you are going to miss the opportunity to get what you need. So it helps you comment on other people's posts, and it helps you to start conversations. So I'm able to take this and I can reconnect with somebody. I can send them a birthday message. I can send them, an anniversary message. I can even, when someone likes my post, I can do that. But I want to show you, I just got it over here. I'm going to show you this selfie thing because I think this is so cool. So I can literally, everything I'm showing you, you can do on your phone as well. I'm going to drag and drop. I was just at an event over the weekend, right? Met a new friend, Courtney, at Eric Worre's party. So I was for any of you who might know who Eric Worre is, I met this guy, Eric, or I was at Eric Worre, who's the #1 sort of trainer in the network marketing space. I was at a party at his house over the weekend. He had a huge event last weekend. And so I can share the content of any photo and it will create a post for me. So as you can tell, I get super excited about this. I'll show you this and then maybe we'll pause here and move on to chatting a little bit more about this. But this tool is a game changer in your ability to share more, to attract more agents, to attract more people into your business, and for potential clients to see just how much of an active leader you are in your real estate business. So I'm going to hit pause there for a second, take a breath, and happy to show you anything else or to keep chatting about it.
So Adrian, I got a couple questions. So kind of teed it off to where we talked about kind of the leading, why this tool even exists or why you would even want to have it is, you said #1 brand, 2 to kind of, guide you down the path of entrepreneurship. So just some context, and I just don't want to assume, just to have you unpack it a little bit, because sure, when you're creating that initial profile and you're feeding it all of your personal information, that has to be geared towards the personal branding side of things, right? To help kind of start to build that component out.
Right on. Yeah, this is, think of what you're sharing with your AI is what you want it to know about you for this purpose of building your personal brand on social, right? And so that hits the nail on the head. The other thing I'll tell you though is don't ever feel like you need to overthink that. Because if you ever, you start doing it and it's like, oh, I mentioned golf and I feel like too much of this stuff is about golf. I don't want it to be about golf at all. You can go back and change that anytime, right? So as I showed that to you, everything there is changeable. And every time I make a change, my AI learns more about me. And so you can go back and fine tune that anytime you want.
Got it. Love that. So one of the things kind of started to notice, especially Facebook, and I'm sure they're all picking it up, but they're like, if you're utilizing like ChatGPT to create content and just posting it in there, it's starting to tag it as AI, kind of content created. How is this tool going to make sure that that doesn't show up, or does it show up, or does it matter? Like, do we care? Like, kind of where are you guys kind of positioning that as social is kind of flagging it that, hey, this is AI created?
Yeah, no, that's an awesome question. So two things. Facebook the social tools are increasingly building AI into their platforms and allowing you to flag those things. But there is no requirement, and you have the ability, because you're the one ultimately posting it. If you used AI, but then you're the one who's seeing it and saying, yes, this is coming from me, or no, or I want to fine tune it, right? I can change any little thing I want about that post before I post it. There's no requirement for you to flag that as being from AI, and Facebook is not going to recognize it because it sounds like you. And so we are at the cutting edge of watching that and making sure that what we want is the highest possible reach for our people, and that's what we see. In fact, on average, our people increase their social reach by 132% in their first 30 days. So they more than double their engagement and reach on social media in their first 30 days using this platform.
It's because you're making it easy. And I think that's the the barriers that they got to think about it. And then it's difficult. It's challenging, right? Staying consistent is incredibly challenging for most people. So being able to have that and build that consistency. And I think, being able to help with it, and make sure, and I love that, being able to feed it, right? Because, when I hear people talk about brand, to me, all I think about then is reputation. That's my brain just defaults to reputation. What is my reputation? And I think, for a lot of agents, if they can be as authentic as possible with it in helping create that brand, because the worst thing in the world is creating something false, and then you meet them in real life and you're like, who is this, right? This is a polar opposite character than you have created on social. So I really love that, and obviously the AI is just making it easy, and therefore it's going to get used, and it should increase their ability to stay consistent with it.
That's exactly right. Yeah. And so tomorrow is the official launch of HoneyBadgerNation.ai. And you're going to get a chance to see it in a full demo, to get to see all of the training and the Q&A that you have access to as a result of this, as well as we've built all of the seller and buyer scripts, all of that content, not even just into Q&A, but where you have all of those scripts right there at your fingertips as part of this tool.
Adrian, I'm sorry, I'm muted, and I know that tomorrow's the big day. This thing looks great, and where my brain goes is, it feels like this is going to save agents a lot of time, which is what I believe these AI tools are supposed to do. It's supposed to increase quality and save you time, which in our business is money. Would you mind giving just a little unpack of the ability for it to follow up on posts, comment on posts? Because I agree with you 100%. I think that the engagement you get on a post that you actually post, super powerful. But, if that's not your bag, and, it also has to feel authentic. If you're John Smith and you're posting and every one of your posts looks like Jay Kinder's post, it's not authentic. It's not really you. But when you're able to interact in an authentic way, how would this tool assist somebody in doing that part of it? Because I know that's, like, a lot of the coaches even teach, like, you got to do this many comments on posts, this many DMs. It's just part of a potential business plan, I guess, I suppose, or more, I guess, a workflow of trying to, create business and create conversations. How does your tool assist people with that?
Yeah, such a great question. And you really hit the nail on the head, right? I think especially, if you're watching and listening to this right now, and you are somebody who posts some, maybe you don't get a lot of engagement on your post, maybe you don't have a big following or network on social yet. This is like, I'm the most talking to you, even as I'm talking to everyone, because this applies to every single person, no matter how big you get. The algorithm feeds off of engagement on the platform. And when you do that first, you're creating a law of reciprocity that is literally built into the algorithm of these tools. So this is the fastest way to unlock growth in your social engagement, is to be doing this. And so let me show you how easy that is. So I'm going to share my screen again here. Come on. There we go. Okay, so I popped over to my Facebook, right? So I'm scrolling through my feed, and let's say this is my friend Gail. I guess she just got an infrared sauna. That's pretty cool. So I'm going to take that post, and I'm literally just going to screenshot it. Let me move it here. There we go. So I'm going to screenshot her post. And as soon as I do that, that's literally the only thing I have to do, right? I don't have to tell it anything else other than that single component. And so I'm going to come over here. Oops, it's not what I wanted to do. I'm going to come over here to Now Site. I'm going to go into that comment on post section, right? And I can literally just upload that a photo of that screenshot that I just did. I can just drag and drop that in there. There we go. And as soon as I do that, I can generate the comment directly from there. So imagine, you need to do these things, but it's hard to, it's hard to do anything other than like drop a couple emojis or say that looks awesome or whatever. So instead, you're able to get this incredible comment that's so much more authentic, that's so much more customized to the content of that post, but you can easily do 10 of those in under 5 minutes. Right. So that setup looks absolutely amazing. Can't wait to see you all warm and toasty this winter. Right. Perfect comment. Right. I copy that to the clipboard in a matter of seconds. We track all your activity. So you see these little stars as you go along. And then I can come back over here to Facebook. I can drop that comment on the post and be able to move on to the next thing. Right. So this is just a super easy way, right? Where, maybe I grab this next one, right? This guy, Bob Bodine. Actually, any of you guys who are in Dallas, you should know Bob. He's like an incredible author and speaker, and look, he's on with Brian Tracy. That's kind of cool. So this is just a really, really fast and easy way for you to be able to cycle through, generate some really meaningful comments in a very short amount of time. And what we hear from people all the time is that they have folks reaching out to them and starting conversations just because of how meaningful those comments are.
Love that. What you mentioned something with somebody that liked a post. What was the concept around, like, somebody, you wanted to do something with someone who liked, all the people that maybe liked the post?
Yeah. So let's say I put a post out there, right? I mentioned a minute ago, I was just at this event, right? And so let's say that, I'll show you what this looks like here. So let's say I put up a post as I was heading out of town to go over to that event, and I got a bunch of engagement on that post. And so I want to take that engagement and I want to parlay that into more conversations and starting conversations with people. So I'm going to go over here on Facebook. I'm going to go to my profile, and here's my post that I put up the other day about going to that event, right? So I'm going to come over here, and inside of Start Conversations, I can use the objective that someone liked my post. I'm going to grab a screenshot of that post, so it's got the actual content of the post built in here, right? So I'm going to grab that, and I'm going to put that into my my post over here. And then let's say it was Jay, right? Jay, oops, I don't need to do that one. Any additional instructions? Jay liked my post. So I'm going to simply give it that one little instruction, and I'm going to generate a conversation starter just from that, right? Hey, Jay, thanks for liking my post. I'm super excited about the GoPro experience. That was the event. You planning to join too? Let's catch up soon, right? Because it said I was on the way to the event. So this is a perfect way, right? Again, somebody, you're out golfing, you're, going, I know a bunch of you guys were at a 10X event the other day, right? People are engaging with that stuff. That's a great, the kind of person who's going to engage on you attending a personal development event is exactly the kind of person who would be a great person to reach out to and start a conversation. And you're just using that simple point of engagement as your starting point, that sort of tip of the spear to begin the conversation.
Love it. Awesome.
Really cool.
Man, I want to see some more stuff. My mind just goes kind of to human behavior to a certain point to where people like, is this person even real? Like, at what point does that kind of like, do I just like step away from it all the way together, or lean into it a little bit more? It's just fascinating. I mean, there's no right or wrong answer. It's just thinking through the human dynamic and human behavior before you like, that ain't even a real person, man. They like.
Can I share? I've thought so much about that. Can I share a little thought on that?
Absolutely.
So two things, right? I think part one of this, right, is like there's this AI is new. Maybe for some of you it's kind of scary. Like, whoa, the world is changing so fast, right? And I want to maybe use an analogy, right? I think we had that with social media when it came along, and at first people were like, I don't want people, I'm not going to show my face on social media. That's crazy. I'm not going to do this on social media. That's crazy, right? The same thing with the internet, right? Like, I will never, ever put my credit card online. Who would do that? They're going to, and now, 20 times a day, I put my credit card online, right? So these things come along and it's natural for them to be a little scary at first. And there's a right way to do that and there's a wrong way to do it. So I encourage you, don't let your fear stop you. And then you fast forward a year and you feel like you're behind the curve and you're really wishing you caught up.
Yeah.
Part two of that, though, I think is really important, right? Which is like, I don't want to live in a world where my AI robot is talking to your AI robot and we're just pretend that, everybody's pretending to be something they're not. And like, we've just lost all humanity. And so one of the core principles of what we do is you are the one who's posting that comment, right? What if Gail was my mom? It would have been a very weird comment if Gail was my mom. And so I don't ever want the AI just to go out there and be doing stuff that I'm not seeing, right? If it's helping me to do a better job, right? Just like if I'm on Google, right? This has been a part of our life forever, right? I start typing, whatever on Google, and Google is offering me auto completions of that search phrase that are probably the right thing, but they're making it easier. And maybe sometimes they're even making, like I sometimes do this, right? Like I'll do like, such and such software versus, and I don't even know who the competitors are. Google is going to auto complete the competitors to that thing for me so I can look at different options.
Yeah.
So you're using a tool to help you to move faster, but you're always making sure that it fits to who you really are. And that's like really core to the way we build things, because I want to support a world that's more human, but more effective, not a world where we've just entirely lost who we actually are.
No, I love that. And to your first part, my default was Jordan Belfort, right? Use it for good. Don't use it for what I used it for, or you're going to spend some time in prison. To your second part, it's a lot like Gary Vee's philosophy of the 10-80-10.
Yeah.
And for those that aren't kind of familiar with it, everything Adrian explained was just that. And you're responsible for the initial 10. And then with Gary, his team takes it the next 80, right? So your job is to get us out of the end zone, and we're backed up against our own, 1 yard line. I got to get us to the 10, give us some breathing room. Okay. Then the team takes it down to the final 10. And then for Gary, then he runs it across the goal line. So like he'll take it and he'll actually post and start engaging. What I'm seeing is that the 10 and the 80, and then we're just doing the final 10. And so that's just kind of where my brain went as you were kind of articulating that. So that makes a lot of sense.
That is so right on. And I had not heard that framework of Gary's, and I'm totally using, like, that's exactly what you want to be doing. Right?
Yeah. That's his personal brand, his personal team. That's what he does. He comes up with the initial 10, the vision, the concept, what he wants. His entire team of 24 people that work directly for him take it to the final. They drop it into a folder. He goes and finds what he wants and just starts taking it, pushing it across the goal line.
Love that.
Adrian, I want as we wrap up a little here, just your overall, maybe high level opinion on, I think that over the last 2 years, for sure, AI has been around a lot longer than 2 years, but it feels like it's been like drinking from a fire hose of AI coming out in a major, major way. So much so that I think a lot of it's being drowned out. And hopefully this message isn't.
Yeah.
But I was reading something. All three of us and our partner Mike were big Elon fans, and Jay, I know you know what he's just built with XAI. What he built in like 17 days. It would have taken anyone else like 18 months to do it. It's insane. But wherever, I don't know if it was a podcast I was listening to, but they said that specifically 2025 is going to be a huge year in the advent of AI as a utility. What do you see changing what we've seen for the last 24 months as to the next 12 months with your tool? And there's other, obviously there's probably thousands of other AI tools, but specifically yours and maybe the biggest ones. Why is 2025 going to be different than the last 2 years?
Yeah. So anytime something brand new comes along, I think the initial conversation is about the thing, right? So I think we've had this conversation like ad nauseum about AI this, AI that, and it's just like it's this new shiny object and everybody's kind of looking at the thing. I think 2025 is going to be the year where we begin the shift anyway from like, yeah, it's the thing, but I don't need to think about the thing anymore. I care about what does this do for me, right? That's where we are 100% focused, right? I think it's the same thing, since you brought up Elon, right? Like the self-driving car stuff, right? Like I think they have hit this space where like the car is really going to just drive you. And like, I don't have to think about it anymore because I just get in the car, I punch in where I'm going, and like, it just happens. And what a cool thing, right? That now, like, instead of this thing that consumed all this mental bandwidth for me in the past, now I just have a tool that meets exactly my needs. And so I think what you'll see is these applications like NowSight that are for a variety of industries where it's like, this is the tool that's exactly built for doing these, this important set of tasks to help me in my business. And I just take for granted that the AI underneath it is great and works, but I don't have to think about that because I'm thinking about what is this thing doing for me. I think that's the shift we'll see next year.
Well, I think we're all going to look forward to that. I appreciate you coming on. I'm excited to actually get in and use this now. As I was listening to you, I was scrolling through all of my Facebook posts, just kind of like reviewing, and what I like to do is take the post that blew up the most. Yeah. And then think, you know what, I just need to do more of these kind, how was the rhythm I was talking and stuff like that. So I'm just looking forward to having this save me a bunch of time in my business. And I'm excited to share it with our agents with Honey Badger Nation.
Right on.
Yeah, man.
Absolutely. Yeah. This is just the first piece of the puzzle too. Like what we're going to show tomorrow is even solve some bigger problems. I think, well, just about any problem that we know how to answer anyway. As it relates to agent attraction, as it relates to growing the business, having answers at your fingertips for exactly what we would tell you if you were on a call with us or if we were looking over your shoulder. So super excited. Appreciate you guys jumping on today and look forward to tomorrow's launch. There should be in the comments of all of our posts somewhere a link to jump on the Facebook live that's going to be in Honey Badger Nation tomorrow. So
if not, you guys are hearing this at another time or whatever, just message us. We'll get you the link. If you're catching it a few days later or after, we'll get you guys the replay. We'll get you guys wherever you need to go. I'm sure we'll update HoneyBadgerNation.com as well. So as always, right, the go-to resource is always HoneyBadgerNation.com. But as always, you guys stuck, you need anything, DM us. That's what we're here for.
Yep. Love it.
Sweet.
Appreciate
it,
Adrian.
Guys. Appreciate you. Thanks, Adrian.
Tomorrow.
See you.
See ya.